Fear, an emotion of abstract nature that haunts us every day in every aspect of our lives. The fear of getting gossiped at work, the fear of taking a call from your friends, the fear of talking to your loved ones, and even the fear of confessing your affection to someone you have a crush on. Such a beautiful and tender moment ruined prior to its conception. It's both bewildering and horrifying to know that we're helplessly overpowered by our primitive senses, which no form of modern medicine and technology is capable of treating, let alone curing. Some of the Chicken Soup for the Soul bestsellers will encourage you. Build your confidence, embrace the bright sides of life, and you will eventually overcome fear with increments of optimism and elevated self-esteem. But here's the thing. The mechanism of human body is built to perceive the world primarily with 5 senses. That is, tangible and tactile feelings invoked by sight, sound, smell, taste, and touch. And these physical recognitions of concreteness generate a strong sense of mental assurance and acceptance, and even at times superiority to the matters of pettier scales. Fear, on the other hand, is an abstract concept that you can barely resonate with at a material level, which consequently brews uncertainties and subsequent rejections for self-protection. Thus, it is somewhat counterproductive to repeatedly instruct yourself to overcome fear, an abstract notion, with confidence, yet another abstract notion, when you cannot establish perceptible connections with either of them through physical interactions. Then how do we deal with fear, you might ask? And the answer actually is quite simple. You don't. Have you ever met someone whose presence arrives with immediate zeal and warmth, delighting the surrounding environment with laughter and joy? Or admire someone who is excessively optimistic that giving up was never an option, which also has proven to be a common characteristic shared among the world's most successful people? What drives them to become so self-assured, determined, and fearless? How do they deal with fear on a daily basis? The answer is, and always has been, insensitivity. Steve Jobs once dropped us an old pearl, among many other legacies we wrongly worship today. Stay hungry, stay foolish, which we commonly interpret as be ready to try new things or be ready to get out of your comfort zone. Unfortunately, they are only shallow comprehensions which are quickly taken granted by merely gauging through the success of Steve Jobs without realizing the Steve per se. An individual human being, just like us, if not worse.
Remembering that I'll be dead soon is the most important tool I've ever encountered to help me make the big choices in life.
By constantly reminding himself of the imminent end we all face someday, Steve Jobs gradually became insensitive to matters of trivial calibers. In this case, it cultivates a mental shield repelling fear, which ironically is comprised of the fear for death. So rather than confronting fear with pretended confidence, which again, both are abstract sentiments rendering clueless and futile efforts, the founder of Apple calmly acknowledges the existence of fear and opts to disregard the fears that are less of death. An insensitive mindset unresponsive to the worldly negativities, as no negative are worse than the terminus of our puny lives. Then how do we obtain insensitivity and apply to our daily lives? Well, it is important to understand insensitivity is essentially a skill, which can be acquired through systematic practices. In the book The Power of Insensitivity, authored by Junichi Watanabe, a prolific and renowned Japanese writer, dictates the 5 simple steps to follow in promoting and managing insensitivity. First, drop the feelings of any displeasure at first sight. Dwelling on it won't help remove the prefix dis. Second, challenge yourself with attainable goals, regardless of the massive failures you have to suffer. Remember, Edison failed more than 7,000 times before inventing a viable light bulb, amounting to approximately 20 years of daily bedroom duties, and he didn't die a virgin. Third, acknowledge the existence of rumors and gossips. People love to believe bad things about good people, and you are one of them as well. Fourth, appreciate the grudges and satire against you, as they remind you there are always losers out there who actually give a fuck about you in this materialistic and indifferent society. Fifth, keep low profile in the face of praise and commendations, as they do not stand forever, and so are your feats of success. And guess what? Research even shows having an insensitive mentality promotes vascular well-being by enlarging your blood vessels for better circulations. In summary, fear is abstract and a spontaneous emotion we helplessly encounter in every aspect of life. By employing insensitivity, you create and retain a zone of buffer, parrying incoming fears driven by secular malice and bitterness. And if I might add, life is simply too short to mind other people's businesses when you barely have time to tend to yours.